Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since Kari and I posted a video, but the reason is that I've been in the midst of a major life transition. For those of you who don't know, I've just moved from Texas to Kansas and talk about a major life change. Honestly, it's been very chaotic. Here's the thing though, leadership doesn't pause just because life gets busy. In fact, transitions are the exact moment that test our leadership the most. Our patience, our focus, and our ability to stay grounded when everything around us is shifting. So today, we want to talk about 5 key points for leadership in transition and how to stay grounded during these major life changes. Whether you're moving like I just did, switching jobs, going through personal changes, or just navigating a season of uncertainty, this one's for you. So let's go ahead and get into it. They say that moving is one of the top stressors of life, and we know that transitions are sometimes uncomfortable. They interrupt our routines, pull us out of autopilot, and they force us just to adjust. And whether we like it or not, change reveals our leadership habits, good or bad. For me, this move reminded me that leadership isn't about staying in control, it's about staying centered. So, the first key point I want to get into is ground yourself before you lead others. I think one of the biggest mistakes leaders make during big life changes is trying to power through it without ever checking in with themselves. If you don't pause, you end up leading from stress, not strength. Here's what grounded looked like for me: taking 5 minutes out of my day just to sit back, relax, and breathe. I had to make sure that I got comfortable with a slower pace because I wasn't able to get everything done right then and right now. So I had to slow myself down. I also had to be honest with myself about what I could and could not get done in a day. Grounding isn't a luxury, it's a leadership responsibility. Kari, what are your thoughts on being grounded before you are ready to lead others?
Yeah, man, I think that's a big one. I think can for me it's really making sure that I align myself with my core values during that stressful or that transitional time. So in other words, when you're going through transition or like in your case, you had a big move, you may be wearing stress and you may not even realize it. And so, one of the things that I like to do is make sure that I'm aligning myself with my core values. These three things are important to me no matter what I'm doing, where I'm transitioning from or transitioning to. I always want to make sure that those things are in scope because if I don't, it serves kind of like a compass where little by little, I start to lose my direction, my focus. And so those
Yeah.
coming back to those three core values, and some people may have four or five, whatever, but making sure those core values stay consistent
Yes.
regardless of where you are in your transition. And
Yeah.
so one of the things that I always like to do is just challenge myself to think, okay, I'm going through this real stressful time.
Yeah.
Am I still in alignment with those core values? And
Yeah.
if I'm not, how can I sync back up to get back in alignment? So I hear you. This is it's movement is one of those things. That's why I don't like to move. I like to stay where I'm at and don't have
Ooh,
to
yeah,
go through it. It's tough.
it was stressful. I mean, and I'm still in the midst of it, but
Yes, sir.
it is those moments that test us.
That's right.
It's just about how you handle it and again, sticking to those core values. So,
Yep.
yeah. The second key point that I wanted to get into is communicate your reality. Leadership isn't about pretending that everything's fine. People don't need perfection, they need transparency and stability. When life shifts, tell your team, your family, or your community what's actually going on, not in a way that overshares, but in a way that sets expectations. For example, I am still in this transition right now, unpacking stuff, trying to make home feel like home, but I'm here. I'm committed, but my pace might be a little bit different just for a moment. That's simple, that's clear, and that's honest. That's just one way to communicate your reality. Card, what are your thoughts?
No, I agree with you 100%. I think a lot of times if you're able to communicate with others and letting them know where you are. Hey, I'm going through this transition. I'm doing this. I'm in life, uh, this life thing where it's lifing.
Life be
Um,
life, and the message is
life be lifing,
life
right?
be life.
And so I'm going through it right now. But if you explain that to those folks that are around you, whether it's your team, whether it's your manager, whether it's your teammates, your colleagues, etc., I think they're more apt to one, understand where you are and what you're going through, but also I think it re-gauges expectations.
Yeah,
So in other words, if you don't tell them that you're going through something, they're saying, "Hey, Ken, how come you're not acting like yourself? You're missing this report, you're
right.
doing this." And so if you're able to recalibrate and just let them know, "Hey, I'm going through this right now," not only will it change their expectations, but they'll be more willing to help you. And
Yeah,
how can I support you as you're going through this? How can I help out and take some of the load off so you can concentrate on those things that you're going through? So being very transparent in that communication, I think, is really key to level set everybody, not to drop a whole lot on them, like you said, but just to make sure that you can manage through the process and they can manage along with you.
yeah, agreed. Yeah, not oversharing, but just being honest about where
That's
you
right.
are,
Yep.
and communicating that effectively. The third key point I want to get into is hold on to the one anchor habit. When everything is changing around you, try to keep at least one thing the same. It could be journaling, your morning coffee, a workout, a prayer, your meditation, whatever helps keep you centered. For me, in this move, my anchor was taking my dog for the morning walk. It gave me the time to reset, a moment to think about what I wanted to get done. And it also gave me time to reconnect with myself. And most of all, it reminded me I still had control over something. Sometimes
Mhm.
I'd even take a walk with my neighbor and his dog. Those walks gave me the space to speak my reality, to say out loud what I wanted to get accomplished that day. And that helped keep me centered and not overstress or overthink what I was trying to get done. Just remember, one small anchor can stabilize your whole mindset. Corey, question
Mm.
for you. What is one anchor habit that you practice that you can share with the audience?
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning because I knew we were going to talk a little bit about this, and I think the one key anchor for me, and I was kind of surprised when I admitted this, it's making my bed in the morning. And
That's a good one.
yeah, because I feel like, hey, when I make my bed, one, it checks one of the things off the list that I know I have to do, but it also kind of makes sure that I'm getting things in alignment that I can control. There's so much in life that we can't control. The one thing that I can control in the morning is making my bed and getting on my way. And once I do that, I feel like it opens up the possibilities for me to be able to take other goals and check them off the list as well. So I always start off my day making that bed. And then once I do that, everything else seems to fall in line after that. So,
That's a good one. That's a good one. I
yeah.
mean, I do make my bed, but sometimes it's not the first thing I do. But that's a good one. That's a very good one.
Mhm.
Thanks for sharing that. The
No
fourth
problem.
key point I want to get into is redefine productivity during transition.
Mm.
Leadership in transition requires flexibility. Maybe you can't do everything you were doing before, and that's okay. Instead of
Mhm.
asking, how do I keep up? Ask, what's essential right now? Progress is still progress, even if it comes at a slower pace. Leaders don't measure success by speed, they measure it by alignment. For me, it came down to prioritizing what I could realistically accomplish each day or even each week. And there were times when I had to just admit, I can't take this on right now and accept that that was completely fine. Just know that it's okay to say no even if you have to say no to yourself. Kari, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the other part of that that I would add on to it is making sure that your support network is strengthened, right?
Yeah.
And so making sure that you're surrounding yourself with others that can support you and tell you where you need improvement or to take another look at yourself. I like to make the distinction between being nice and being kind. So in other words, when you're asking for feedback, being nice is telling you what you want to hear, being kind is telling you what you need to hear. And so when you surround yourself with that support group, when you're going through challenges or transitions and things like that, you want to have somebody that's going to be kind
Yeah,
and not tell you what you want to hear, but what you need.
that is
And
so true.
so I think that's really important to make sure that when you're going through these transitions, that you have folks that you can trust, that you can rely on, but they need to tell you how it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
100% agree. Yeah. So the last and final key point that I want to get into is embrace the opportunity. And I think this one is a big one. Transitions are not just interruptions, they are invitations.
Mm,
Invitations to reflect, to reset, and to reconnect with what matters. Every major life change creates a space for new perspectives, new priorities, and a new version of yourself. Change doesn't weaken your leadership, it expands it. If
mm.
there's one thing that life has taught me is that change is good. When you choose to lean into it instead of running from it, it opens doors you never even imagined. And that's where real growth shows up. Kari, any last thoughts on that?
I would just say echo what you just said, and I think it's also a really good opportunity for self-reflection and just understanding, hey, this is just a period in time. This is not permanent. This is temporary. And so give yourself, again, we talk about it, give yourself some grace and rely on others when you need to have that help or conversations around, hey,
Absolutely.
I'm feeling it. I'm going through this. I'm struggling a little bit, and that's okay. Realize that, hey, this is not going to be the final destination. We're just going through it a little bit right now, and so we just have to get through it. And I need some help, and I need some support as we go through this thing. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yep.
Thank you guys for spending time with us today. If you're in your own season of transition, remember you don't have to navigate it perfectly. You just have to navigate it with intention. Ground yourself, communicate honestly, hold on to those anchor habits, and give yourself grace along the way. If this message resonated with you, make sure you like, share, and drop us a comment and let us know what transition are you navigating right now and what's helping you stay grounded. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. There's a lot more leadership conversations coming your way. Until next time, stay grounded, stay centered, and keep leading, even when life is shifting beneath your feet.
I just want to remind everybody to lead with love, laugh with grace, and lift someone up today. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, everybody. Ciao.